Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino calling line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wing Studios, here's Mike Steely and Parker Thune.
Yes, sir. Here we are. I'm out here at Cavens Group on a great-looking Wednesday outside. The weather is nice, and we are ready to talk a little sports and other stuff with you on this Wednesday here from Cavens Group. Cavens, the very best disaster response team in the area. They set the standard. They set the bar. Why? Because they have the most teams. They have the best trained teams. They know what they're doing. If you encounter any kind of mold damage, mold intrusion into your home, that's not good. Same with water, smoke damage, any kind of a disaster. You want to call Cavens Group at 405-573-3048 because they're the best, and you want to deal with the best. You don't want for your home or business to have to encounter more costs down the road. Get it done right with the best pros in the business here at Cavens Group, 405-573-3048. We'll talk to Gary a little bit later on in the program. Parker Thune, you were out at spring practice yesterday, the media availabilities, and we'll play some audio for you coming up here in a little bit. Overall thoughts on what you saw out there yesterday?
Well, first and foremost, Steely, I understand that you almost had a disaster on your way over to Cavens Group.
Dude, this is the first time I called back, and I called Blake. I figured you were busy, so I said, Blake, got to tell Parker, man, I'm sitting here at the train tracks. I've been here for about 10 minutes already. I can't escape. I've got 70 cars to my left and right behind me. I can't escape. And then the train just went by, and I'm like, all right, here we go. The train just passed by. And then it's flashing red, and they're not raising the gates. And I sat there another 3 minutes thinking, this is not good. So I made it here with about a minute to spare, but we're good to go. So that was very interesting, though. I thought, man, those guys are going to have to open up the show. But we're good. We're all good. Always a good time out here at Cavens. So what did you think yesterday? Anything stand out in terms of watching the drills, talking to the players? Give me your synopsis.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, we got to talk to John Mateer for just the second time since he arrived at Oklahoma. Obviously, he had that pre-spring press conference, but that was the only time up until last night that we got to talk to John Mateer. And when we discussed the various happenings surrounding OU spring practice with him last night, the one thing he said, which is kind of the one thing you want to hear if you're an Oklahoma football fan, is that there's been a great degree of give and take between the offense and the defense on the practice field. John Mateer said, look, it's not like we're going up and down the field on this defense. They're full of athletes. They make plays. And he said, look, I can't miss a throw. You know, I can't put a throw somewhere other than where it needs to be. Otherwise, it's going to be a pick going the other way. So it really cuts down on my margin for error. It's making me better, and hopefully we're making those guys on the defensive side of the ball better too.
Well, let's hear from John Mateer. And first of all, talking about the offense, John Mateer says being familiar with the offense certainly helps, no doubt, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
It helps a lot. Maybe in my third year in this offense, there's things that the quarterback can do to really enhance it, and you see someone on defense, you can change it to what I need to do, and that's good. First year quarterbacks is tough. Like when I first learned it, I didn't know all the gadgets that we have, and I saw Cam do it, and then I got to do it last year and do it again this year, so that helps. And then teaching everybody, like I know how it's supposed to look, and then there's film on how it's supposed to look, and I know exactly what game to go to show a receiver what it's supposed to look like. So it's good. So, you know, there's a lot of routes in this offense, and a lot of routes that the receivers can do different things based on the defense. You know, and a lot of offenses is that way, but this one too. So getting those live reps is so important. That's why spring ball is so important at fall camp. 45 practices from the start of spring ball to the end of fall camp. You know, and within those 45, it helps, and then that's why you have non-conference games at the beginning. But it's not going to be perfect right now, and in the summer we'll get the live looks doing 7-on-7 stuff, and it's going to be good. But those choice routes, option routes, that's what it takes.
All right, so that's specifically about the offense, as Parker talked about. He also talked about going up against the Sooner defense, and John Mateer said, yeah, you know what, we've enjoyed actually going up against the challenge of the Sooner defense.
a lot of very good stuff that's challenged me and makes me and the O-line and the center communicate a lot, and it's a lot of fun. Playing against good football is fun football. If you're just beating somebody every day, it's fun, but it gets a little tiring. So, we're doing good, but they're also doing good, so it's back and forth, and it's been fun and competitive. We got some freak athletes on this defense from the interior to the DBs. Everybody on the field is very good, very talented, and so we can't make mistakes, and I can't miss. If I miss a throw, it's going the other way, which is good, and it's fun. It builds confidence in me, like knowing that this is a good defense and a very smart head coach / DC, calling good plays and doing a lot of good stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, there you go. A little audio from John Mateer yesterday. Later on, we'll have Kendall Dolby and Grayson Halton, a little audio there. You also got a chance to talk with PJ yesterday, with Gentry Williams, Kip Lewis, Grayson Halton. And again, as I mentioned, him and Kendall Dolby. Anybody else that you guys got to talk to? I'm leaving out.
No, I think that's it. Just, 6? Yeah, Mateer, Halton, PJ, Dolby, Gentry Williams, and you mentioned the 6th, and now I just spaced on it. But, yeah, we got six player availabilities last night. We were told we might get Brent Venables, might not. We did not get Brent Venables, but we did get to watch about 40 minutes of practice, and we got to talk to the 6 aforementioned players.
There you go. All right, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. That's 405-651-3439. And we're on YouTube. All you have to do is search KREF Sports. That's KREF Sports. And you'll find us. We're live every day, noon to 3 on YouTube. And probably in the future we'll be going live more than that. But you got us at least noon to 3 now, our show, and then on into Locked In from 2 to 3 o'clock. So, more Sooner football coming up here in a little bit. Last night, Sooner baseball wins in Tulsa against ORU 11-2. They get ready for a weekend series coming up at Alabama, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sooner softball will play in Wichita tonight against Wichita State, 6 p.m. Oklahoma 29-1, lost their first game in Columbia, game 2 of that 3-game set against Missouri. But the Sooner women off to, again, an 8-1 start, a really solid start in the SEC. And they'll play the Shockers tonight in Wichita, and then they go and play Tennessee coming up this weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thunder win in Sacramento. They logged their 60th win of the season. SGA with 32. Chet, 18 and 10 rebounds. Alex Caruso, man, I love that guy. 15 points, tremendous defense again. Isaiah Joe had 14. Next up for Oklahoma City, they start a 4-game homestand hosting Memphis tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Saturday it'll be the Indiana Pacers at the Paycom Palace. Next week, Josh Giddey's return. He's been playing great for Chicago, and they'll also play Detroit next week. So, again, that 4-game homestand starts for the Thunder beginning tomorrow night. All right, so again, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. I did leave my phone in my car, so I have no idea what time it is. So, Parker, you just alert me to the break, but I rushed in here basically out of a starter's block trying to do my best Usain Bolt to make sure I could get on the air. So, anyway, there you go. And, again, we're live on YouTube. Anything stand out or anybody else standing out in drills or anything? I know you guys get a limited amount of time to go shoot video or take your photos. Anything else from spring that stood out yesterday outside the interviews?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this much. Within the interviews, so I'm going to go outside the bounds of your question for just a second, but within the interviews, one thing that became really apparent, and it's something we discussed on OUinsider.com, this is a guy I've talked up for a long, long time, even going back to before he was committed to Oklahoma. But freshman cornerback Cortland Guillory is a guy that several players mentioned in their interview sessions last night. Gentry Williams mentioned him. Kendall Dolby mentioned him. You go back to the previous interview sessions that we did with some of these guys a couple weeks ago, back before spring break. Everybody, it seems, is buzzing about Cortland Guillory and what he's done on the football field thus far in spring ball for Oklahoma. So that's a welcome little surprise. The fact that you have another freshman cornerback, a year after Eli Bowen, burst onto the scene the way he did, it would seem you have another freshman quarterback. Why did I say quarterback again? Cornerback. You got another freshman cornerback that it would seem, Steely, is really going to be pushing for snaps at some point in the season if he continues along this current trajectory. Now, it's not really a question that the main guys in that group right now are Gentry Williams, Eli Bowen, and Jacoby Johnson. But beyond that, right, you got to have depth. You got to have more than 3 cornerbacks that you can rely on in the SEC. And Cortland Guillory, from the sound of it, is certainly emerging as a guy that the coaching staff can trust.
There you go. Yeah, and with Gentry Williams, I just want to see Gentry Williams have one injury-free year where he plays like every game because for the most part when he's been out there, look, you're a corner, you're eventually going to get beat. You're going to lose some battles. That's part of the game. But he's a great open field tackler. I think he's a really good cover corner. But we just haven't been able to see him enough out there because of the shoulder issues that he's had. So Sooner fans, I'm sure, are crossing their fingers, Parker, that you can see Gentry Williams play a lot of games in a full season would be tremendous. To see what that cornerback group looks like with Gentry Williams staying healthy for a year.
Yeah, and you feel like you need Gentry Williams healthy, right? Because, and I've said before, I expect the Sooners to go grab another cornerback in the post-spring portal window. They need one right now. They need additional depth. But whoever they go and grab, that still doesn't feel like that's enough, right? Because you're one injury to Gentry Williams or to Eli Bowen or to whoever away from putting an inexperienced guy out there for at least 15, 20 snaps a game, be that Cortland Guillory or be it Jeremiah Newcomb or Davon Jordan or Malik Hawkins or whoever, right? But cornerback depth is something you have to have. Oklahoma has not had a ton of it over the last 3 seasons. Fortunately, in a couple of those campaigns, you look at C.J. Colden in 2022, Gentry in 2023, and certainly Eli Bowen last year, you've had a guy that's emerged as a reliable cog in that cornerback rotation. Feels like Oklahoma needs a guy to emerge from that group this year that maybe isn't expected right now to play a heavy role.
All right, we're here at Caven's Group on a Wednesday. Always love being out here. We'll have Gary on a little bit later on and talk about all they do. When you talk about Gary Cavens, man, he sets the standard, and he's the owner and he's the leader here because he's certified in so many things, got all these certificates, the very latest training, advanced certificates in water damage restoration, mold remediation, structural drying, hands-on experience with large-scale emergency situations they've been involved in, including storms, floods, freezing events, a reputation for staying on the cutting edge of restoration technology. That's what you get here at Caven's Group. Again, very strange, but we always say we hope you never have to make the call, but if you do encounter a disaster with your home or business, particularly with your business, you want to get up and running because you don't want to go out of business. You don't want to lose profits, and the call you need to make is to Caven's at 405-573-3048. That is 405-573-3048. Any kind of updates on how Jaron Kanak is doing on the offensive side of the ball? Hearing anything new there?
Look, I still think he's pacing the field in the tight end room. From everything I've seen, from everything I've heard. Again, like, is that going to be the case come week 1 of the season? I don't know. I also don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Oklahoma goes and grabs another tight end in the transfer portal in the post-spring window. I think that's a position where there's so much uncertainty right now that if there's an experienced guy with a history of production that's available, you might go and add him just to further shore up that position group right now. Because any way you slice it, man, you're counting on somebody to perform that you have not seen perform yet, at least not in an OU uniform. Whether that is Jaron Kanak, who has played linebacker up until now, whether that is Devon Mitchell, who redshirted last year and didn't see the field, whether that's somebody like Carson Kent or Will Huggins that has caught passes at the collegiate level, but Carson Kent did it as a walk-on at Kennesaw State. Will Huggins did it at Pittsburgh State, right? So there's a lot to be determined with regard to how that tight end room and how that rotation ultimately shakes out.
All right, we're here at Cavens, and Gary will join us a little bit later on. We'll take your texts again. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, 405-651-3439. That is 405-651-3439. And on YouTube, search KREF Sports. We're live every day, noon to 3, right here on the Ref. Send us your chats. We'll have our man Blake Gamble covering that for you. Also, back in the Buffalo Wild Wings studios. Lasher Home Comfort Systems also bringing you hour number 1 here on Steelman and Thune. We appreciate Tim Lasher and his great company right down the road here in God's country, Norman, Oklahoma. Lasher Home Comfort Systems, they do a great job. We've used them on a couple of occasions at Shea Stadium. They were great. Price very fair. Professional crew came out, got the job done. They'll do the same for you. Heating and air issue, call Lasher Home Comfort Systems, 405-579-3113. The clock in my head tells me I think it's time to break right now with no clock. That's brilliance. I'm betting it's 16 after. Is it 16 after?
It is exactly 16 after. Steely.
How about
well
that? Man, the genius exhibited on this show sometimes is just amazing. We'll take a break. We'll hit the text line. We'll also talk about spring bedlam. We'll get into that up next right here on the Ref.
A true Sooner fan wouldn't be caught dead without the KREF app. Join the Army. Get the app. Tell your friends. This is the Ref, where diehard Sooner fans listen.
Oklahoma baseball single game tickets are on sale now. Don't miss a packed 31-game home schedule this spring at L. Dale Mitchell Park. Seats start at just $10 per game, with exciting promotions like $2 Tuesdays, Firework Fridays, and Sunday Fun Day for Conference Series. Guaranteed fun for the whole family. Check out the game schedule and more information at Soonersports.com. Join us at the ballpark and Boomer Sooner.
Every day, innocent families share the road with massive semi-trucks. The safety of everyone depends on trucking companies to hire careful drivers. But when trucking companies ignore red flags and hire dangerous drivers, the results can be deadly.
Reckless hiring practices put bad drivers on the road. Just last year, 5,700 large trucks were involved in a fatal crash. One bad hiring decision, one unsafe driver can change a life forever.
These tragedies are avoidable. Companies must be held accountable for reckless hiring practices that put all of us at risk. If you or a loved one has been affected, call McIntyre Law.
It's time for your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather. Brought to you by Cavens Group. Do you have a water emergency? Give Cavens a call at 405-573-3048.
From the First Alert Weather Center, this is meteorologist Jonathan Condor with your KOCO5 News weather forecast. Out the door this morning in the 50s with a partly cloudy sky. Now, there is a low rain chance for this morning. Maybe have the umbrella handy. Most of the rain stays down to our south. We'll be in and out of the clouds today. Mostly cloudy midday, partly cloudy in the late afternoon. We'll see highs in the mid-70s. You'll notice a southeast breeze picking up at about 15 miles an hour later. Tonight, overcast, dry, lows in the 50s.
That was your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather, brought to you by Cavens. Did you have a water emergency that you fear might turn into mold? Give Cavens Group a call at 405-573-3048 or visit cavensgroup.com today.
Mike Steely here for Lasher Home Comfort Systems, your trusted home comfort experts in the Oklahoma City metro area. Tim Lasher and his team have more than 130 years of combined experience. They recognize a significant number of homeowners live with inadequate home comfort systems. They specialize in diagnosing your home system issues while providing more efficiency and reducing your utility costs. As an authorized dealer of American Standard, Tim can service your residence or business. Call Tim and his team at 405-579-3113. Lasher Home Comfort Systems. Hey, it's Mike Steely here for Cavens Group. Has it ever happened to you? You get home from the weekend, you arrive back at work on Monday, and your office is full of water. Not good. Now we're in that time of the year where pipes or sprinkler lines will freeze, and this can lead to a ton of damage to your home or business. Plus, if it's not cleaned up properly, that can lead to even more costly repairs in the future. Call Cavens Group today at 405-573-3048. or visit cavensgroup.com.
Basketball season's here, and there's no better place to watch the Sooners than at Coach's Corner in Norman. Catch every thrilling play on tons of TVs, plus enjoy the coldest beer in town. But wait, Coach's Corner isn't just for game days. Join us Tuesday nights for bingo, Wednesday nights for Singo, and don't miss Thirsty Thursdays with unbeatable drink specials. With Soul Food Sundays, the best atmosphere for OU basketball, and events all week long, Coach's Corner is your go-to spot at the intersection of Lindsay and Berry, where every day is game day.
Looking for the ultimate way to bring fun to your home this season? Galaxy Home Recreation has you covered. From top-of-the-line pool tables, hot tubs with the best hydrotherapy in the business, to exciting home theater seating. Visit our showroom today and let our experts create the perfect setup for family fun or entertaining friends. Located outside of the Sooner Mall in Norman on the north side of the building. Mention this radio ad and receive your exclusive offer. Galaxy Home Recreation, family owned and operated in Oklahoma since 1975.
Back with you here at Cabins. We're here as we are each and every Wednesday. The Plank Show, outstanding again today, as always, was right here earlier. Chris Plank and Josh, as always, do a great job. And we love being out here at Cabins. Great people out here. Gary, Jessica, everybody out here. That, you know, when the dogs are out here, Dad knows you're at a really cool place. When they have company dogs that just lounge around. It's really cool. Anyway, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. That's 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. We'll go there in just 1 minute. But first, everybody's been talking about it. Now, I've got kind of a different clip. I think this one's a little bit different than what just about everybody's been playing. And by the way, Jeremy Poplin, what a pro. Thanks for the great audio. When Pop goes out and puts something out there on his Twitter feed, you know it's going to be done professionally. Great audio, not some of this, you know, with the subjects 9 miles away from the microphone. It's going to be good stuff. So here's Mike Gundy yesterday talking about the possibility of what about a spring Bedlam scrimmage? Not going to be a game, but like a practice/scrimmage. Here's Mike Gundy talking about, hey, why not? Why don't we go ahead and do this? Here's what he had to say.
All of us as coaches fear the portal. They feel potential tampering. They fear putting it on TV. They fear making a depth chart in their person. All of us as coaches fear the portal. They feel potential tampering. They fear putting it on TV. They fear making a depth chart in their players, getting upset and leaving, and then injury. So it makes sense to go down there and scrimmage them in a full thud and come up here. You would get a more competitive atmosphere. It'd be good for us. I would like to see our guys compete against them in the spring to see where we're at and do the best we can to stay off the ground. We know that's not going to happen 100% of the time. They could use it as a scrimmage. We could use it as a scrimmage because by rule we get it. They do it in the NFL, right? And they try to stay up. But it's still more entertaining to go watch the Eagles against the Bears than it is just the Eagles against the Eagles. I think it's a great idea. You know, I don't know if you could file a waiver or whatever. I don't know if Coach Venables would be willing to do it. I haven't talked to him about it, but I just thought about it. I think it'd be a great idea. I mean, I bet the fans would like it. Give them something to do. Yeah. Go pay $25, go down and watch OU and OSU practice against each other, go 7-on-7, go inside, do 35, 40 minutes of a team drill, do individual against each other, one-on-ones, you know. So I think it's a good idea.
There you go, Mike Gundy. By the way, horrible editing job by me. Jeez, what were you doing? Too many people coming in the production room today. That's what it was. I'll blame it on kids. When you can blame it on others, go ahead and take that route. That's what the politicians do all the time. So, no, that was horrible by me. But the audio, what Gundy had to say, you know, very interesting. By the way, have you ever heard "Let's Go Full Thud"?
Full thud. I have never heard that particular phraseology before.
Until then, I mean, that sounds like a Mike Gundy and Steven Seagal in Full Thud. I don't know if Full Thud actually would be a movie that you'd want to see. Maybe that's the question for the text line, or maybe it's too dangerous.
Don't Urban Dictionary Full Thud.
Describe the scenario, the summary of what full thud would be all about. Maybe we can go down there and go full thud. That's what stood out to me about that soundbite, by the way. Action movie or maybe a tawdry movie. I'm not sure. But what do you think of the idea, Parker Thune? You like it? You think it's good for NIL?
I think it'd be great. I mean,
I think so.
Patrick on the text line said this would make it the most epic spring game ever. Bedlam football, and at halftime, Brent Venables versus Mike Gundy 40-yard sprint. The entire state would be captivated by this, and both football teams and fan bases would be going crazy leading up to the halftime sprint. You can even make whoever wins the money goes to charity of their choosing. It would be epic.
Well, they could definitely raise some NIL funds. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think it'd be great for NIL. So, I don't know. I was listening on and off today, off and on, to the Plank Show as much as I could while I was trying to put sound together.
Was it on and off, or was it off and on?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I was trying to go full thud in the production room, But obviously I didn't concentrate very well since I was horrible editing on that Mike Gundy soundbite.
Full thud, more like full dud. Am I right?
No kidding. But I don't know. I like the idea, whether it's a controlled scrimmage or if it's just a practice, happens like Mike Gundy's talked about with NFL teams all the time. And we don't have any bedlam. I know there's been a few people on the text line, screw Gundy, we don't need to help him or whatever. But you're going to help your own NIL fund, right? I think if you could get the Brent and Mike Gundy 40-yard dash, then you could charge up to $50. Raise some money. Now, this couldn't turn around and happen this spring, all right? I mean, we're still going Crimson Combine.
Yeah. Well,
but Sooners Cowboys full thud next spring.
Again, I get why the Crimson Combine makes sense for right now. I get why it makes sense in a short-term sense. But I would hope this is the only year of the Crimson Combine. I hope we can do something a little bit more creative and a little bit more competitive in 2026 and beyond. Colorado and Syracuse, I guess there's some actual progress being made with regard to their exhibition showdown that has been in the works. All they need is I guess, is clearance from the NCAA, and that's going to happen. So, Big Rick and Owasso on the text line says, full thud, the Lincoln Riley story.
More like full crud, like Parker. Full crud or full thud for Lincoln Riley. Well, here's the deal, too. I like the idea. I don't know if OU would go for it. Who knows? From what you're hearing, they paid, some people say, $1.5 million NIL for Aaliyah Chavez, by the way. If that number's accurate, I don't know. That's what's floating around out there. So maybe, as Tyler was talking about yesterday, Oklahoma isn't in this broke-Oklahoma situation that some people think they're in. But no doubt, man, you could raise some NIL money in this way. No question about it. All right, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Let's get to the text line, and then we'll check in with our man Blake. No poll question today. Whatever you have on your mind, let us know. We'll check in with Blake here in a second. But what do we have on the text line?
Warren says $50 would be twice the street value of an Oklahoma State regular season ticket.
Jeez.
A 918 listener adds, this is stupid. Now we have to hear the sheep lovers talk about how they would beat us in a real game all year.
Well, let's say they even do a practice or whatever, right? They don't keep score or anything like that, because I don't think you'll have a full-on game. And even a regular spring game is really not a full-on game. But can you imagine the offseason if, I had OSU with 12 first downs and OU with 10 unofficially. I mean, we stink. You are setting up a scenario where if you don't have your best day, the offseason is going to be, which sometimes can be difficult, without just your own regular spring game. But if somehow OSU makes a few more plays than OU, then it's going to be pure, until the first game. But that's part of the deal. Okay, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
Reno Goat says, screw OSU. They ran their mouth when OU left. Let them wallow around in their own feces. It's pretty disgusting imagery.
Has that been the prevailing thought? Are most people, maybe we should have put a poll question out today. Do you want Sooners Cowboys full thud, or do you want the Crimson Combine? I need to get back tomorrow. Remind me to isolate that soundbite.
Full thud?
Yeah, why don't we just come down there and go full thud?
Oh, that's something. That feels like something Roy D. Mercer would say. I need to come down there and go full thud on you.
I went through 2-a-day practices through high school, right? You did too for a while, right? Or did you concentrate on baseball?
Oh, I don't think we ever had 2-a-days.
Well, that's because you all are pansies,
Yeah,
you youngsters.
Probably so.
But we did, and I never heard full thud. I heard, hit him a slobber knocker, one mistake son at school song in the secondary and stuff like that. But I want to see some snot bubbles out there. You're so ready to play, which, of course, was totally disgusting also. But I never heard full thud until Mike Gundy said that yesterday. Sooners, Cowboys, Gundy, Venables, full thud.
A listener in California says there were games that were scheduled just 1 week out during the 2020 season. So why not try to set up a scrimmage this spring against Oklahoma State? Crimson Combine is lame and should be scrapped.
So what are the chances you think right now as we speak, and we are, 3 weeks away from the Combine, Crimson Combine?
2.5.
2.5? Percentage chance you get full thud over the Crimson Combine? 5%? No percent? 10%?
No, I mean, we're getting the Crimson Combine at this point.
Too late in the game?
I would say so.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe next year. Who knows? Okay.
We can hope.
Yep. Blake, what do we have on the YouTube chat, my man? Blake Gamble back in the Buffalo Wild Wings studios, patrolling YouTube for us.
Yes, Steely, we were kind of on the same page there. We didn't have a YouTube poll question, but after playing that clip, I was inspired, so I went ahead and fired one off. The question today, how much would you pay for a ticket to attend a Bedlam spring scrimmage? The options today, $10, it's not a real game. $20, sure beats the Combine. $50, it helps NIL and it's Bedlam. Or $75 or more, let's make it happen. The early winner right now is the $20 option, sure beats the Combine. But we have votes for every option, so at least one listener is willing to pay as much as $75 or more for a good seat to see some Bedlam action in the spring.
There you go. There you go. All right, so on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, also if you want to write a scenario for the movie Full Thud and put your actors in it, or actresses, maybe not want to combine both sexes in that title, actually. Go ahead. Make it an action film. I'm obsessed with that now. I don't know why, but that's the way my brain works. Okay, Sooner softball tonight, Oklahoma, Wichita State, 6 o'clock first pitch before the Sooners get Tennessee coming up this weekend. And then OU baseball again, a nice win up at ORU last night. 11-2 was the final. Sooners are at 21-3 on the season with that win over the Golden Eagles last night. They get ready to go to Alabama coming up this weekend. Okay, let's work in a few more texts.
Krabby Sooner says, bring on full thud. Crimson Combine is silly.
Bring on full thud. Why am I wired this way? That's all I'm going to think about all day now is full thud.
Bumpy Road says, as long as we don't go full thug.
There was a time period in OU football where full thug was kind of in play.
Well, like
long time ago.
Like the Josh Jarbo days.
That, and when you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated for the wrong reasons. Love you, Charles Thompson, by the way. But he's repaired himself, his image, and he's good with Sooner Nation. But, that time period was kind of difficult for OU fans. Okay, 405-651-3439. Okay, coming up in the next segment, Elias Chavez talks about her decision. Now, you've got to dig deep sometimes on YouTube. You want to, of course, not run into the YouTube yahoos, but you need some good audio. The press conference yesterday was very weird because she said, Norman, and like, okay, that means OU, right? Like, she's definitely going. Can we play it yet? Because you don't want to play what we had yesterday. And don't play it, by the way. YouTube already fined us or flagged us. So basically, they have taken Michelangelo's tools away. There will be no frescoes on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. There'll be no David or the Pietà. The artist has no tools to work with anymore. But, yeah, so we got in a tiny bit of trouble for that yesterday, and I took full responsibility. But anyway, interesting, and we'll play the soundbite coming up in the next segment, that she said she was almost down to flipping a coin yesterday, but made her decision for Oklahoma. We'll hear what she had to say coming up here in a little bit. And great day. What a great 24, 36 hours. Well, 24 hours really for Jenny Moranchek with what they did in the Iowa game, blowing away the Hawkeyes to get to the Sweet 16. And then they get the number one player in the country. Pretty awesome. Okay, taking a break here at Cavens on a Wednesday. Stay with us. We shall return right here on the Ref.
Hey, Ref Army, this is Dusty Dvorak. I'm fired up to be back on the K-Ref team. Join me every Tuesday and Wednesday morning during the 10 a.m. hour as I join Plank and Josh to talk some football. Download the K-Ref app and listen from anywhere.
Speaking of technology, did you know that RK Black is an authorized dealer for Kyocera copiers? And the Kyocera copiers aren't just copiers. They're smart devices that can scan, print, fax, and email your documents with ease and security. Even better, they're backed by RK Black's award-winning service team that is built on nearly 70 years of taking great care of our clients. Whether you need a desktop printer or a multifunction copier, RK Black has the right product for you. Let's get the conversation started. Give us a call at 943-9800 or visit us at rkblack.com.
For 3 generations, the John M. Ireland & Son Funeral Home and Chapel in Morris continued to serve the community by giving back to local schools, charitable organizations, and first responders.
We provide pre-planning for funerals and cremation services at the most reasonable prices.
We are proud to be a family-owned and operated funeral home.
Award-winning funeral home year after year, our family believes in serving the people of our community.
I'm John Ireland.
And I'm Solon Daniels.
You've got our word on it.
Hi Norman, it's DJ Newsom with Alliance Bank, your community-driven, friendly neighborhood bank. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur, lead a nonprofit organization, or just someone seeking a better banking experience, we've got you covered. From business to personal banking, we tailor our services to suit everyone's needs. We believe in making banking easy and enjoyable. Visit our Norman location or call us today at 405-286-5750. Alliance Bank, banking tailored to your needs. Member FDIC.
Are you looking to elevate your golf game in 2025? Westwood Golf Course in Norman can help. Now's the time to get your annual memberships, and they're open 7 days a week. The 50th annual Westwood Invitational is July 4th, 5th, and 6th, so be sure to register early this year. Play after 2 p.m. for just $28 or after 5 p.m. for just $23. You can always book your tee time at westwoodparkgolf.com, and don't forget to visit the Turn Grill inside Westwood, one of the local gyms in Norman.
Hi, folks. This is Larry Knippelmeyer here at Knippelmeyer Chevrolet in Blanchard, USA. Conveniently located just 15 minutes south of Oklahoma City and 10 minutes west of Norman. With all the talk of inflation, market crashes, and tariffs, it's no wonder we're all afraid to make that new vehicle purchase. Now, with that being said, there will probably never be a better time to purchase your new Chevrolet at Knippelmeyer Chevrolet. No price increase or tariffs on our huge selection of in-stock vehicles. Pickups, SUVs, cars, and even Corvettes, all marked down and ready to sell. Interest rates are good, used vehicle trade-ins are high, and rebates and incentives are back on most new Chevrolets. So hop in that old vehicle and come see us at Knippelmeyer Chevrolet in Blanchard, where nobody beats our deal. Or give us a call at 405-485-3333 or catch us on the web at knippelmeyer.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Dreaming of an escape? What about a relaxing escape to your very own backyard? Signature Custom Pools can turn your dreams into reality. Signature Custom Pools creates distinctive designs to fit your perfect getaway. Call Signature Custom Pools for your free design consultation at 405-898-9098 or visit them online at signaturecustompools.com and turn your backyard into your dream escape. Hey, all you electricians out there. Are you unhappy with your job? Ever feel like some employers see you as just a name on a time card instead of a human being? Well, at Wade Electric, they're a third-generation family-owned company serving the Norman and Oklahoma City area for over 50 years. They value their employees and want to help them succeed and enjoy their career in the electrical field. If you are unsatisfied with your current situation and are ready to make a change, call Wade Electric at 405-329-1940 to hear about their benefits and learn how to join the team.
We are back here at Cavens and love being out here on a Wednesday. Can't wait. What would the trailer sound like? They used to start with in a world where fill in the blank. In a world where wimps are wimps and chumps turn into champs. Mike Gundy, Brent Venables, Bronson Pinchot, go full thud. Big explosion. That work? That get you excited? Would that get you? We're going full thud right to the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line here in a minute. But let's play the Aaliyah Chavez audio from yesterday. It was a weird. Now, we were on the air. We wanted to make sure we were going to play the Donnie Iris song as soon as we knew. And it was kind of like, bringing a championship to Norman. And people are like, what? Say what? And there was a little delay there. It's, at least that's the way the audio portion of it was presented on ESPN. But, Blake, you said that there, or was it Mark that was telling me there was like an audio delay because she was kind of like there was no applause. Now, first of all, you're in Lubbock, Texas, making your announcement that you're going to Oklahoma. So, it's not like there's going to be a standing ovation. But it was somewhat awkward, but it was also great for Sooner fans. What a celebration for OU. The video from the office and the staff was incredible. Really good stuff. But let's hear from Aaliyah Chavez yesterday after the ceremony, talking about when and why she made the decision for Oklahoma.
This morning. Serious. There was a point where I was just going to flip a coin. This was a hard decision for sure. All schools that I chose, they were great choices, and the coaches, I've had great relationships with all the coaches. I definitely think it was the girls for sure. The people that I was with on the visit, we connected for sure. The vibe was definitely different, so I definitely think that's what made me pick the choice.
There you go. Parker, when I saw the video and all the attention that she was getting, I'm thinking, man, they are rolling out the red carpet supreme for this young lady, and all the photo opportunities, and Jordan Brand, I guess, got involved based on what we're hearing, and the NIL money, the money, pretty significant. But OU, you talk about always A, always B, B, C, closing, always be closing. What a job they did, Parker, closing that deal.
If it is indeed the case, if it is indeed true, if we're going to take Aaliyah Chavez at her word, that she made the decision yesterday morning, Steely, what does that tell you? It tells you the last visit she took was the most important visit she took. And the last visit she took before committing was, of course, a visit to the University of Oklahoma on Saturday. So, man, the job that Jenny Baranczyk and that staff must have done down the stretch, and of course none of us are privy to the conversations that are happening in the closing hours of that recruitment, but whatever they were able to do while Aaliyah Chavez was on campus Saturday and the conversations that they were able to have in the aftermath leading up to the decision, that very clearly made all the difference.
So you're saying they went full thud, final visit?
They went full thud for Aaliyah Chavez.
No doubt. No
and
doubt
it was
about
effective.
All right. And, you look at Jenny has done an unbelievable job. No doubt about it. She's been incredible. And that place was electric. And that was total absolute domination of Iowa, a pretty good basketball team, again, the other day. And now you got your chance against Connecticut. But you think about next year, Parker, look, if they upset UConn, they've got a path. They've got a path. And, UConn's only lost 3 games this year, but there is a path there. Remember, UConn lost at Tennessee. Well, the Sooners, they got the job done against Tennessee, right? So is this a game that Oklahoma could win? Yeah, they're going to have to play really well, but I think they got a shot at this. But then when you think the next year, with what they have coming back and with Verhulst coming back and with Ray, I mean, you think about just that trio, right? Chavez, Beers, Verhulst, that might be as good as any trio in college basketball. And, when you're talking about South Carolina and Connecticut and all the powerhouse teams, they've got, realistically, next year, I think you seriously consider Oklahoma as not just a team that, hey, they can win a game or two in the NCAA tournament. They're a legit national championship contender.
Yeah, and they're
like
easily a Final Four contender at this point next year.
Yeah.
Assuming everyone stays healthy. I mean, would you go so far as to label that a big 3, Steely? Verhulst, Beers, Aaliyah Chavez?
Yeah, I think so. I do, yeah. Wouldn't you?
I mean, you might have, and we don't know how immediately it's going to translate for Aaliyah Chavez. You always got to ask yourself, okay, even if you're the number 1 recruit in the country, is this kid going to be able to produce at the collegiate level the way that they were producing at the high school level? It's always a valid question. But if Aaliyah Chavez is all she's cracked up to be, and that game translates immediately, you could have one of the most electric guards in the country. You could have one of the best bigs in the country. And with Peyton Verhulst rounding out that big 3, I hardly think there are more than, 3, 4, maybe 5 other schools in the country it's going to boast a trio that's that good, if that.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Well,
and we talked about when Oklahoma got Courtney Paris. I remember how big that was. Courtney was either the 1 or 2 ranked high school player in the country. I remember a lot of services had her number 1. And then her sister, and she had a great career at Oklahoma, and her sister Ashley, of course, was, I don't know, I think it was somewhere between the 7 and 10 range. So that was a great get. This is clearly the best since that one. And a lot of you all remember Ashley and Courtney Paris' dad was Bubba Paris, who played in the offensive line for the 49ers back in the day. So, but man, what a huge, huge get for Oklahoma. And to have that televised live on ESPN, not like ESPNU or ESPN Thud. It was regular ESPN. Right there at the top of the hour. Well, I guess they went it was close to about 1:15, but they were promoting it. So just great pub for the University of Oklahoma. All right, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. And again, hit us up on YouTube. We'll hit the chat there in just a bit as well.
A listener in the 405 says, don't forget Sahara Williams, who was a McDonald's All-American. Yeah,
yeah.
The Sooners are also signing another 5-star in this coming cycle here in Keziah Lofton from Bethany, Oklahoma. Brian from – see, I hate texts like this. Brian from Norman said, so y'all are just going to skip over Zaya Van not being an important piece to next year's starting 5 for the Sooners? There's no way. She will not be as impactful as she has been so far as a freshman. Boomer. Listen, Brian, no one is disregarding no one is disregarding Zaya Van. Excuse me. We can have a conversation about some of
trios.
The key pieces. Yeah, we can have a conversation about some of the key pieces without mentioning every single piece. For instance, earlier we were talking about the tight ends, and I rattled off a few tight ends: Jaron Canick, Will Huggins, Carson Kent, Devon Mitchell, and then we had a texter on the text line going, McIntyre, Helms. We can talk tight ends without mentioning every single player on the roster at tight end, and we can talk about the key pieces for the OU women's basketball program without listing every single player that's going to be in the rotation.
Well, and I
Obviously,
think in basketball, I'm sorry, Parker, I think in basketball, too, we've been talking about trios for a long time, right? Whether it's the Warriors or, modern-day basketball, like with Oklahoma City, it's what? Shea, J-Dub, Chet. So we were thinking about, where would this trio stack up? Sahara Williams is a really, really good player. Played fantastic, by the way, the other day and had a really good year. But, yeah, we're not leaving anybody out. I told you these people, there's these people, like at the party that, well, of course you forgot about, that guy. They don't listen. We need to send out some Q-tips. Ref Q-tips. Listen closely. We're talking about trios. We're not trying to leave anybody out because we think they're not any good. Jeez. I mean, it's not a bannable offense, but it's
no,
close.
certainly.
No, I don't know. But I'm kidding. But we always used to call it that person, well, actually, guy. Well, actually, here you are. Hey, well, actually, guy, guess what? Most times you are a 50-50 to get invited to the party. Okay? I'm just letting you know. You may not know that, but there's a debate. Should we bring Bill to the party? Story tops everybody, and he questions everything. I don't know, man. Having Bill always drags us down. Don't invite Bill. Yeah, but his mom's in a nursing or she's in intensive care. Well, if that's the case, we got to invite Bill. Yeah, we should bring Bill. And then you bring Bill. Well, actually, all night, and you get that,
Oh, Brian followed up and said, the two of you shouldn't get butthurt about a question. We're not butthurt, Brian. No one is butthurt.
Brian, there's also sarcasm, okay? Sarcasm.
Patrick on the text line said, I think we need a listener appreciation party where all the radio hosts dunk their favorite listeners.
Do you think? Go full thud? Dunk tank? Like, throw the baseball and try and hit him?
Does thud apply?
I don't know.
When
full
there's
splash
water
down?
involved?
Yeah,
it's
probably
kind of
full splash down or something.
If there's a thud, it means you're belly flopping, which is
That's
painful.
true. Oh, the first belly flop was that was a wake-up call, wasn't it, as a kid? Like a legitimate, like you go off the medium, not maybe the high dive, but the medium diving board. I'm going to go belly flop. Oh, my God, I'm never doing that again. Ever. That was full thud, Mom. Full thud. So anyway. No, but look, bottom line is the Sooners, great momentum right now. We'll see what they do in the UConn matchup coming up again at 4:30 on Saturday out in Spokane, Washington. Has anybody said Spokane yet?
No one has said Spokane, to my knowledge.
That's one of the common problems, right? Having listened over the years to other shows and stuff, I would say we finally kind of cut down on that, but there used to be a lot of Spokaners out there. Spokane, Washington, 4:30 Saturday on ESPN. Gina Baranchek has done a fantastic job, no doubt about it. And what a great get again yesterday for Oklahoma. All right, we have time for a couple more.
Big Rich said, LOL was just saying McIntyre Helms to see how they were looking. That's all. I wanted to get your opinion after watching. Appreciate it, Big Rich. Did not mean to call you out, Big Rich. I didn't realize it was you that sent the text. I couldn't remember who it was that sent the text. But
and if you've listened to me over the years, you should know that 90% of what I say is sarcasm and BS. Just being stupid.
The Realist asks, what are all the bannable offenses? From last week, we know about the Thunder.
No, I'm just kidding. The only one is the Thunder Hillbillies right now. I ain't want to hear no walking B.A.B. organization on tuning for these. Those people are banned and sent to Guantanamo from now on. It's going to be very hard there, too. I don't think there's like an easy wing at Guantanamo. Let's take a look at the schedule today. Let's say The first we start with sleep deprivation, followed by 4 hours of Guns N' Roses turned up to impossible decibel levels, followed by a good solid waterboarding for a couple hours. No, that's the only bannable offense right now. I thought we got rid of all those people, but we did not. There's still a few out there, the stragglers. Okay, thanks to Lasher Home Comfort Systems, 405-579-3113 here at Cavens. Gary will be coming aboard here in a little bit. Love being out here on a Wednesday. Another hour to go. Keep it here on the Ref.
Sound off any time of day on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Right here on the home of Sooner fans. The Ref Sports Radio Network.
They say if you don't like the weather in Oklahoma, wait 5 minutes and check it again. Nope, not there yet. Ah, that's more like it. Being comfortable is important, and if it's -5 degrees or 100 degrees, Norman Air has you covered. Our impeccable quality and unbeatable service is what sets us apart from our competitors. It's just part of our mission to keep Oklahoma comfortable. Visit normanair.com for all your heating, air, plumbing, and electrical needs. Norman Air, service to the max.
Imagine one step, and suddenly a fall turns into a fracture. For many, osteoporosis is a hidden threat, weakening bones silently until it's too late. At the Ortho Central Bone Health Clinic, we believe in personalized care to keep bones strong and resilient. Led by advanced practitioner Amanda Boyd, our team specializes in detection and personalized treatment plans, from bone density testing to strengthening bones after a fracture. Take charge of your bone health today. Call Ortho Central's Bone Health Clinic and let's build better bones together.
Schumacher Law Group, when experience matters. Tracy Schumacher is a former prosecutor and former district judge. Whether it's a probate challenge, criminal charges, or contentious divorce proceedings, experience matters. The attorneys at Schumacher Law Group provide compassionate, knowledgeable advice, all while fighting for your best interests. Find Schumacher Law Group online at lawgroupok.com or call 405-701-1882. Hometown lawyers ready to fight for you when experience matters.
Hi, Josh Helmer here for my friends at Auto Image USA in Norman, where they have everything you need to upgrade your ride. At Auto Image USA, they have so many services for you like paint correction, window tint, paint protection film, or maybe you want that boat, RV, or car looking brand new in the interior again with the top-of-the-line detailing. Plus, you can get their Enviro Shield paint and interior fabric protection backed by their 3 or 5-year warranty. Call them today, 405-321-4444. They are the best. Check them out.
Get ready for an unforgettable summer at the Young Family Athletic Center. Our summer day camps and sports leagues are the perfect way for young athletes to stay active, improve their skills, and have a blast. Whether your child is into basketball, volleyball, or pickleball, we've got open gym, leagues, and camps designed for all skill levels. Registration is now open for most summer activities, but space is limited. Don't miss out. Go to YFAC.com and make this summer one to remember.
Are you in need of purchasing your own health insurance? Are you turning 65 and confused about Medicare? Are you an employer looking at offering benefits to your staff? Call the agents at Allison Insurance. They'll sort through the confusion. They're not captive to just one company, and they'll get the best option for you. Don't get frustrated. Call Allison Insurance at 800-580-5587 or 745-2968. Allison Insurance. They are the experts.
Are you looking for luxury apartments for rent in Norman? The Falls at Brookhaven offers stunning apartments and a well-maintained, calm atmosphere. Enjoy our landscaping, a swim in the pool, or take your pet for a walk in one of our 2 dog parks. Our spacious outdoor areas and state-of-the-art amenities will make this new home feel like a resort. All this can be right outside of your door when you live at the Falls at Brookhaven. Call our locally owned and operated community at 405-701-8233 or go online to thefallsatbrookhaven.com to view our spacious floor plans.
Hey Sooner fans, this is Audrey Davis with the 6-time national champions OU gymnastics team. Thank you to all the fans who have supported us this season. We wouldn't be where we are without our incredible coaches, the team, and of course, Team 10. Team 10 is the backbone of our program, helping provide the resources so we can compete at the highest level. As a Team 10 member, you will receive unique experiences that you wouldn't otherwise receive. Go to Soonersports.com to become a Team 10 member today. Boomer!
You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming live on the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Welcome in, everybody. How we doing? Wrong mic there for 1 second. Jeez. Man, I've done some amateur things today. Really amateur. All right, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Hour number 2 here from Cavens Group. Gary Cavens is the man. Cavens Group, if you have any disaster, you need to know Cavens Group, and you need to know this number. In the metro area, Oklahoma City, 405-573-3048, serving the metro area. And we hope you don't have any kind of water intrusion, mold damage, smoke damage, crime scene cleanup, biohazard cleanup, anything like that. You want the very best, because that stuff can cost you money and can be very serious. You need Cavens Group. Check them out online at cavins, cavensgroup.com. And again, that number, we always recommend, if you can put it in your phone, that would be a really good idea, 405-573-3048. Gary has the most crews, the best trained crews. Gary has the most experience in the field when it comes to mold and all of this stuff. His mold remediation technology is the best in the business, and you don't want to mess with a mold, all right? Because you think you can do it yourself. Down the road, you're going to have a big problem. It may look like, this is all dried up, I don't say anything anymore. It's still there. You need the best. You need Cavens. Give them a call at 405-573-3048. And, by the way, we want to thank Hightower Clinical. Hightower Clinical, fantastic clinical trial opportunities throughout the metro area here in the great state of Oklahoma. No cost, no insurance needed to participate. Your meds are provided for free. Patients also can be compensated for their time as well. That's a heck of a deal. They've got many different clinical trial opportunities. If you want more information on these trials, call this number, 405-831-5905. That is 405-831-5905, or check them out online at hightowerclinical.com. You know what we should do? We're going to play a Grayson Halton clip here in a second. But you know what we should do first? We should check in with the YouTube yahoos. I put another clip in there. I was thinking maybe we could call them the ASACs, too.
What does that
What do you think about
stand
that? The attention-seeking ass clowns.
Oh, wow, there's an extra A in there.
We'll just go with YouTube yahoos. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're turning the world over to. Here we go with another version of the YouTube yahoos.
All right, Nick, let's talk about the Oklahoma Sooners. Up and down season for the Sooners. I'd say probably not their best, but when you're not having the best season so far, what you get to do, get to look towards the future. And it looks like that Coach Brent Venables has his eye on someone that potentially he had his eye even on last year as well. A new offensive coordinator that could potentially turn everything around for this Sooners team. We'll get to that in just a second, but first, I'm Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection.
Is that guy 14 years old?
I think he's a little bit older than that, but there you go.
I don't
Get
even
ready,
know how to
ladies and
react to
gentlemen.
that.
It's only going to get worse. It is only going to get worse. Because the ASAC, the attention-seeking ass clown, knows no shame at all. They just, their oxygen, their water is attention. So maybe they might feel like 2%, should I be doing this? I'm not really that good. But 98% of what they need is your attention. So it's not going away. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. That's 651-3439. And on the YouTube chat, before we get to Grayson Halton, Blake, what's happening on the YouTube chat? Do they want full thud or do they want the Crimson Combine?
Well, it looks like they want the full thud specifically against Mike Gundy's bunch up in Stillwater. 45% of people that have answered a poll question are willing to pay $20 to attend that this spring. 18% will pay $50, and 9%, which is a couple of our voters, would pay $75 or more. So we've got 23 votes so far. We've only had the poll up for half an hour, so make sure to head over to our YouTube stream. Just search KREF Sports, and you'll find us there to answer a question. How much would you pay for a ticket to attend a Bedlam Spring scrimmage? One question from the chat from Chad. Is Jacob Jordan going to do anything this year?
What do you think, Parker?
Is he going to do anything this year? Yeah, I believe he will. He'll be right there in the mix for snaps at wide receiver in the slot. Now, obviously, Oklahoma brought in Isaiah Satania to play the slot. Josiah Martin's done some nice things in the slot. You have Deion Burks, who can play outside receiver but also plays quite a bit of slot himself. So it's going to be a competitive room. It's not going to be like it was towards the back half of last season, obviously, where not Xavier Robinson, but Jacob Jordan was just kind of getting snaps by default at that slot position because there really wasn't anybody else. He's going to have to earn what he gets, but he earned those looks last year, made the most of them. Who's to say he can't earn them again?
Man, I am so mad at myself for not isolating and just getting the full thud 3-second clip. Why? I got distracted today. There was too much office talk. I'm not blaming anybody. I started some of these conversations, but, there was just a lot of office talk today, and I blame myself. Or I'd have the full thud clip for you. We should just go down there and go full thud.
Ooh, get this, Steely. I just got an email.
Okay.
A very interesting email. It says, "Hello, friend. I am Richard Wall, the winner of the U.S. $533 million Mega Millions jackpot. I am donating to 5 random persons.
Of course.
I have voluntarily decided to donate a sum of U.S. $2 million to you as one of the selected winners." All right, Steely, looks like I'm retiring.
Go ahead and click on that and then check your bank account in like 2 days. It's kind of like everybody's getting those, guess what, you still owe toll for the highway department. Okay, dude. How many times can you hit delete and report junk and they still keep coming in?
I tell you, the amount of stuff that should get marked as spam that doesn't wind up in my inbox, and then the stuff that shouldn't get marked as spam that somehow does. Like, every single email I get from Trevor LaFoon winds up in my junk folder. I don't know why.
I know. He's like, Steely. I'm like, where's the copy? I sent it to you. He looks like me, like, you're an old idiot, man. I sent it to you. And then I look, yeah, same with me.
I don't know if that says more about us or Trevor.
I don't know. Like, did we purposely say, yeah, whatever Trevor sends, we're just going to send a spam or junk? I don't recall ever making that decision because it's copy that we need. So somehow, some evil AI presence decided, yeah, this should go in junk. But that's the same thing. Exact same thing happens to me. Okay, let's hear from Grayson Halton yesterday. Media availability down at spring practice. Was it Pro Football Focus that had him one of the highest graded defensive linemen, right? Was that right?
Number 10 returning defensive lineman in college football.
Yeah. Are we not talking about this guy enough? Maybe we should talk even more. But Grayson Halton yesterday, just a little bit of the conversation, started out talking about how good can this defensive tackle group be?
We can be very good, just staying dedicated, being determined, being in the playbook, knowing what to do, and making those plays when it's time to.
You mentioned how good this group can be. How big is it that you've got so many guys back from a year ago, just to have that continuity?
Yeah, it's great to have that experience, you know what I'm saying? Guys that know what to do, those guys can coach up the younger guys. So when we're not here, those younger guys that got coached by us, can take it to another level do it with the next generation.
Is there a chemistry element to that too? Just, you guys going through all of last year, knowing what to expect that time.
Yeah, feel like we got a chip on our shoulders, you know what I'm saying? We just going to work every practice, and just taking it day by day.
Was that a double Jesse Crittenden cameo
It
right
was, yes. I allowed Jesse questions, yes. So, yeah. By the way, what do you think of this D-tackle group? And Jaden Jackson, whatever you want to call him, nose tackle, whatever, we know he's in the group. What do you think? Break it down for me.
If we're looking at the defensive tackle group, obviously Jaden Jackson isn't participating this spring as he recovers from surgery. David Stone is up to 313 pounds. That's a welcome sign. But the two veterans of that group, the guys that have played more snaps than anybody at the collegiate level, are Dominic Williams and Grayson Halton. And those are the two guys that I think right there with Jaden Jackson you expect to form the crux of Oklahoma's defensive tackle rotation. I think it says a lot about where Oklahoma's at on the defensive front that David Stone, as a sophomore, a former 5-star recruit, #1 defensive tackle in the country, all that yada, 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 he's number 4 right now on the pecking order for Oklahoma, Steely. So I would say there are very few position groups on this roster that you feel better about talent-wise and depth-wise than defensive tackle. And Grayson Halton is certainly a guy that does not get talked about enough. I think that guy has been subject to much less press than his game and his skills have probably warranted.
I agree, no doubt. 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line here at Cavens Group. We'll talk to Gary coming up here in a little bit. I don't know if we'll have Gary via phone or here in the office today. I'll check in with Gary during the next break. Or I'll ask Duke the Wonder Dog, who is currently asleep right outside the doorway to the conference room. Let's hit some texts, and then we can get to YouTube as well. What do we have?
Sooner Bump says, I have the biggest headache, and I think it may be from the text line. But I'm a champion, and we'll keep listening like one and pull through. And by the way, STFU, Andrew on YouTube.
What? Now, what was that about?
He was talking about the YouTube Yahoo that you played.
Oh, okay. It was Andrew. Okay, yeah. All
Andrew,
right.
No last name, just Andrew.
Just know that my brain some days can get close to like 90%. We're probably operating at about 77% today. After the scare that I couldn't get here on time because there was a train on the tracks for like 20 minutes, it wouldn't move, and there was no escape. I was about to just ram the car in front of me to try and create an opening. I was going to go full thud, but I didn't.
Glad you didn't go full thud while behind the wheel.
Oh, man.
Oh, Jesse G says, full thud. If OSU is coming, it'll be more like full thug.
Oh, that's good. I like it. 405-651-3439.
Patrick says,
play that Gundy clip again. Can you, just go ahead and don't edit it, but just take out, the first 10 seconds or so, because I clearly messed up the edit. But if you can just,
you want me to try and find the full thud part?
If you can, yeah. We can go to YouTube and you can find full thud. How's that?
Okay, here we go.
All right. Blake Gamble, ladies and gentlemen, the director of YouTube Communications. What's happening?
Hey, what's up, Steelman? Sooner fan chiming in. OSU should pay us, OU fans, to watch since they weren't for keeping Bedlam going.
Don't think that'll happen, but maybe not a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. Mike Gundy, I think, in that clip mentioned about splitting the gate for that. Obviously, could you alternate a home and home, or do you split the gate? Do you think that OU would be willing to split it 50-50? It feels like that would be something that you'd have to negotiate.
Yeah,
you'd have to have a return Stillwater
home
split
and
the
home.
Gate situation.
Hold on, just
home
play
and home.
consecutive weekends. Play one in one in Stillwater, one in Norman.
You know what we should? if we were a regular society that had some empathy, anymore, and look, there are people out there who still do. But as a society, we become so ridiculous because of political, squabbles on social media and everything, and everybody trying to one-up somebody. What we should be doing, but we're in the evil era of college sports, is like doing a home and home and then like giving the proceeds instead of to athletes like the people who lost their homes in a fire in Stillwater, right? And everything. But no, I guess we could do something else for that. But you know what I'm saying? It just feels like, well, we need money. We got to get that 4 or 5 wide receiver. Let's charge these people $50 to come to Full Thud, and then we'll, increase our – it just seems like this era of college football has gotten our priorities so far out of whack. I understand you have to play the game, though.
It makes sense to go down there and scrimmage them in a Full Thud.
One more time, please.
It makes sense to go down there and scrimmage them in a Full Thud.
That is so good. Can you save that, by the way? No, I'll do it tomorrow. Just remind me where it is.
It makes sense to go down there and scrimmage them in a Full Thud.
What I also like is he kind of put the hillbilly and go down there. He doesn't go, we should go down there.
Go on down there, Norman.
Yeah, he just, we should go down there. One more time, you'll hear the hill go down there.
It makes sense to go down there and scrimmage them in a Full Thud.
Oh, my gosh. I'm amused by the stupidest things, but I don't know if I could create a movie trailer for Full Thud without copyrighted stuff, but maybe I should try that. Okay, take a break right here. Gary's going to be coming up here in a little bit. We're here at Cavens Group. We're here every Wednesday, 405-573-3048. Any disaster you encounter, you want to deal with the best, and Cavens is the best. 405-573-3048. Can you play Gundy one more time going into the break for the commercial? Yeah, I'm going to wear this out.
You said
people.
One more time like 5 times now.
Just one more, please, before the commercial.
It makes sense to go down there and scrimmage them in a Full Thud.
Through the dead of winter, to the dawn of spring, through the dog days of summer, and the kickoff of fall, no one covers Sooner football like we do. The Ref is SEC ready. Are you?
Fowler Automotive is proud to be a part of your community, where our passion and values lie far beyond the showroom. We believe that families, sports, art, and culture are at the heart of every thriving community, and it's important to us that we help build the communities that our dealerships call home. Stop by any of our 6 Oklahoma dealerships to see the Fowler standard hard at work. We pride ourselves on being friendly, helpful, honest, and fair. This is what drives us every day. Fowler Automotive, a proud partner of OU Athletics.
More than 600,000 Oklahomans have disabilities. We can't afford to leave great employees behind just because they do things differently.
Who we are and what we accomplish
are much more important.
Hire an Oklahoman with a disability and gain dependability, commitment, and lower turnover. Reach out. Oklahoma Rehabilitation Services, okdrs.gov, 1-800-845-8476.
The Ref is the home of Sooner fans and is once again your home for chaos. Every game-changing hit.
Long fly ball to left. Track. Whoa. Gone.
Every strikeout.
Got him. Swinging.
Every defensive gem.
He caught it. He caught it.
Every game. All year. The Ref has you covered.
Catch Sooner baseball as they visit the Alabama Crimson Tide this Friday at 6, Saturday at noon, and Sunday at 1 on the Ref and the K-Ref app.
Tired of your current living situation? Now is the best time to make a move. Interest rates are dropping, and Home Creations is offering the best financing around with rates as low as 3.625%. This will save you hundreds per month on your brand new Home Creations home. Live like a champion today by calling Holly at 405-364-9999 for full details.
364-9999 means Home Creations.
APR 6.508%.
Get ready for an unforgettable summer at the Young Family Athletic Center. Our summer day camps and sports leagues are the perfect way for young athletes to stay active, improve their skills, and have a blast. Whether your child is into basketball, volleyball, or pickleball, we've got open gym, leagues, and camps designed for all skill levels. Registration is now open for most summer activities, but space is limited. Don't miss out. Go to YFAC.com and make this summer one to remember.
Basketball season's here, and there's no better place to watch the Sooners than at Coach's Corner in Norman. Catch every thrilling play on tons of TVs, plus enjoy the coldest beer in town. But wait, Coach's Corner isn't just for game days. Join us Tuesday nights for bingo, Wednesday nights for Singo, and don't miss Thirsty Thursdays with unbeatable drink specials. With Soul Food Sundays, the best atmosphere for OU basketball, and events all week long, Coach's Corner is your go-to spot at the intersection of Lindsay and Berry, where every day is game day.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
Hey y'all, I'm Kelly Clarkson. Every American dreams of creating a better life for his or her family, but in some communities, those dreams face difficult challenges. When we come together to help those in need get the same opportunities as everyone else, we truly are making our country a better place to live for all of us. So look for volunteer opportunities in your community to help others achieve the American dream, all right? This message is courtesy of the United States Air Force.
We are back here at Cavens. I think we'll get Gary in not this segment, but the next segment. Gary Cavens, man, he is the man here at Cavens. Well, Jessica also runs this operation as well. Did a great job on the plank show this morning, but Gary has all these certifications, high-level training, water damage restoration, mold remediation, structural drying, hands-on experience with large-scale emergency situations, all around the state of Oklahoma and a few surrounding states as well, including storms, floods, freeze events. He's been there. He's done that. Their team is the best in the business. He has a reputation for staying on the cutting edge of restoration technology. They are the best at what they do. Again, we hope you never need Cavens Group, but if you do, you want this number, 405-573-3048. 405-573-3048. By the way, Friday out at Riverwind Casino, did you see that Riverwind Casino has a brand new Riverwind Casino app? You can go download that now. Now, you know what Riverwind does. They give you a lot of opportunities with these great promotions. They give you discounts. They give you sometimes just a roadmap how to make your experience, better in terms of having a percentage of hearing your name called in a big drawing. The drawings they do on Friday night. This month, of course, we've got our final drawing in the 80K Golden Clovers giveaway coming up Friday night. But it's going to be beneficial to you to go get this app, the brand new Riverwind Casino app. Not going to cost you anything. With this app, regular and first-time visitors will get access to exclusive offers, points tracking, rewards, promotions, win-loss statements, profile maintenance. It's all there. Go get the brand new Riverwind Casino app. All right? And we'll see you out there on Friday. And like I said, they also have these great new shows coming in June that went on sale last Friday. And we are talking about Jay Leno with Arsenio Hall. That'll be a great comedy show coming up Friday night, June 6th. I think we have Gary right now, by the way. And the comedy of Nick Swartzen on Saturday, June 7th. So let's bring in our man, Gary Cavens, right now. He is a busy man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Steely?
Pretty good. You been out there going full thud today?
I have been going full thud today.
There you
go.
No
question there.
You always are. So we were just talking about your level of expertise. And, when you think about technology, and, of course, I'm somewhat of an analog guy in a digital world. I get that. But you got to stay on top of things because technology moves so quickly these days. And that's something I know you guys have always done, because if you lose your step, technology moves right past you, right? But you guys have the very latest in mold remediation, all this stuff. You make sure you're on top of it all the time.
100%. And we're actually going to a trade show here in about a month where we're going to get to see all the new technology that's coming out this year and everything. We're super excited about that, and go to some classes. I've actually got at the end of this month, I'm going to be in class for about 4 weeks doing training and getting new certifications. Jessica Parker, our COO, is going to be doing the same thing too. And so, we're always learning and always bringing back this knowledge and this technology, and it's just super important. It's a super important part of our DNA here. This morning in training, we did a 2-hour simulation this morning on water losses here in the office, where we acted like this whole office was flooded. We set up drying equipment. They set up equipment in our special app systems that we have, and all of our documentation and everything. We had our apprentices, so we tagged our apprentice with a journeyman, and the apprentice took the lead and set it all up, because we have an awesome apprenticeship program for remediation restoration here at Cavens, and we've developed it ourselves. We use some outside sources and stuff like that, but it is a great apprenticeship program, bringing young people up, because in this industry, there's not people out there that understand it and know it. We can't just hire in journeymen. We've hired in past from the national brands. They just have bad habits and cut corners, and that's just not how we do it at Cavens. Cutting corners is unacceptable here, and my staff knows that that's my expectation, and that's one of the blessings that has been, we get to, be witnesses in court, specialize in this kind of stuff, talking about, when people, apartment complexes and stuff like that, people get sick from mold. Then we also, I get to work for some really big commercial insurance companies, doing consulting with them on big hospital stuff and big commercial stuff, big stuff. And, when it comes to mold in Oklahoma, there's nobody more experienced than our team is. We have the best equipment. We have the best trained team. I see it day in and day out when I have to look at other jobs that we have to come in and clean up, that people have already started, that they're doing it incorrectly. This is people's health and safety, and it's really important to, when we're dealing with people's health and safety of their family, their employees, and all that stuff, this work is done right. And by us taking this training, staying up to date on it, staying up to date on the science behind it, the equipment behind it, the technology behind it, that's what makes us the best. And, that's one of the great things here, is you've got one of the best disaster response companies, mold companies, water companies in the U.S. right here in Oklahoma, right here in Norman.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I've seen you guys, upstairs you've got your kind of lunchroom, but it also turns into a kind of a quasi-conference room, lunchroom, teaching room when you're up there and people are learning about the latest information. Now, I'm not saying it's Oklahoma that we're out of the cold weather phase. I don't know that we're going to get a bunch of it, but once the heat and humidity, comes around, which we're starting to get a lot more into that, what is that? Is that make, let's say somebody, you know what, I think I fixed my mold issue. I got the towels out, got the box fans. It looks like it's all gone. Is the heat and the humidity, does that affect the mold? Can that be a big problem, particularly if you think I got this when you probably don't have it?
100%, Steely. April showers bring May flowers. Well, what also comes with flowers, as flowers grow, if there's water intrusion in a home, water intrusion in a building, that are water damaged, then you got mold growing too. It's growing just like the flowers are. It's an organism. It's organic, and it's growing. And if you've got water, you got humidity, you've got a food source, it can grow rampant really, really quickly. So we're headed into that time of the year where we're going to start getting rain and water intrusion. And then what happens is, I was at a house yesterday. They sold the house. They were moving out of it. Super nice house. And the master shower was leaking. The shower pan was leaking. But it was leaking just a little bit. Nobody noticed it because it was behind a nightstand. Well, when they meant to move out, here's this mold growth on the baseboard and the base of the wall. Well, the homeowner, awesome guy. I've known him for a long time. Super, super, super awesome guy. He's like, I cannot consciously sell this house knowing that this is going on. So I wanted you to come in and check it out. And I said, okay, let's check it out. And we did testing and everything, and it came back like that. And people don't think about that too. We buy and sell houses every day. Every day. Home inspectors come in, but home inspectors are not mold specialists. They may take a mold class, but they're not specialized in this. So, if you're going to buy a house, you should probably have it mold tested, because you don't want to inherit somebody else's water intrusion mold problem that they had. You want to get it fixed before your family moves in there. So that's something big that I think a lot of people don't even think about. Another thing is in like Utah, when you buy and sell a house, you have to have it meth tested. And that's something we do too. But we're getting back to mold. If you're buying and selling a house, it's good. Number one, you're going to find out if you have a water intrusion issue. And number two, you're going to make sure it's a healthy environment that you're moving your family into, that you're buying the house.
Mold doesn't jump out and introduce itself. Like, hey, what's up? Welcome to your new home. I'm mold. You know.
It sneaks up on you.
Not good. That would not be a good situation for sure.
But it likes to hide behind furniture, behind pictures, behind stuff. So it's like I always say 100 times, Master Disaster says, go through your house, check it. It's really important.
That sounds like our dog Piper when she gets a dryer sheet. She runs behind stuff. And, well, no, I got this. It's like, no, you can't have a dryer sheet. I don't know what her infatuation is with dryer sheets, because there's some probably not safe chemicals in there. But we've got to run after her, and I've got to pretty much tackle her before she gets away with it. Anything else we need to know this week, Gary?
No, we're here. We got a dumpster special rolling right now. 12-yard dumpster for spring cleaning. $385, includes drop-off and pickup in the OKC metro area. If you need a dumpster for spring cleaning, give us a call. That's a great deal on a 12-yard dumpster there. And then, as we get into spring rains, if you have water intrusion, flooding, don't forget about us. And if you have a mold issue, call the best. Call Cavens.
There you go. Gary, thank you.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate
you.
it.
The one and only Gary Cavens. Check him out online. Also, cavensgroup.com, CAVINS, cavensgroup.com. They're on Insta. They're on Facebook. They're on X. They're everywhere. All right. Do we want to get to some texts, Parker Thune? And we'll try and hit the YouTube chat in the next segment.
Patrick on the text line says, I just installed the Masters app, Steely. It's about that time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is official. After negotiations with Cleveland County and moving to another jury cycle, perhaps, I will be watching the Masters that Thursday and Friday myself. Parker Thune, you will be doing Riverwind Casino that week.
Really? So you're legit taking vacation days for the Masters?
2 days, yes. I usually don't take frivolous vacation days, but in this, you know what I thought? I haven't done this in a long time. I used to do it a lot. When I wasn't at Augusta, usually I would get home and watch. Well, I couldn't watch at 6 a.m. I'd start watching at the radio station I was working at. But I'm going to be up. I'm usually up at 4:30 a.m. anyway, but 6 a.m. to like 6 p.m., I'm going to be on the Masters app and watching Masters coverage both days. You'll be the superstar at Riverwind Casino. And by the way, once again, go get the new Riverwind Casino app. It's going to help you. Promotions, discount items in the gift shop, all that kind of stuff. You'll find it on the Riverwind app. All right, go download it. It's new. All right, what else we have?
A listener in the 409 area code, that's Texas, says OU versus OSU spring football scrimmage with an OU versus OSU softball game to follow.
There you go. That's good thinking. I like that.
A 405 listener says, wonder how many women's basketball portal transfers will want to come play with our new point guard.
You know what? I would say there would be some interest there for sure. So we did get Jacob Fredson Cole, right? Who
yes, he is
hit the portal. So now 3. We know that Jeff Wonko is coming back. Any names out there that you've heard that might be interested in Oklahoma?
No, nothing
Not
I have
yet?
heard thus far. Nothing I have heard thus far.
All right, 405-651-3439.
You also have
Chevrolet text line.
You got to wonder, as far as Oklahoma and the portal concerned, like how much are things actually hanging in the balance between Porter Moser and Villanova? Because he's been mentioned as a candidate there, and it feels like Villanova is waiting on Kevin Willard, but Kevin Willard is still coaching Maryland in the Sweet 16, and also Maryland has put forth a very lucrative package to try and keep him in College Park. So if they don't get Kevin Willard, and of course, in rather surprising fashion, we saw Richard Pitino's name come off the board last night. He took the Xavier job, which was very unexpected. Everybody thought, including myself, that job was going back to Chris Mack. But now Richard Pitino goes to Xavier. It appears that West Virginia is going to hire Ross Hodge, the North Texas head coach, whenever North Texas's NIT run is over. So Villanova seems to be the one big job that's still available, the vacancy that still needs to be filled. Now, if it's filled with Kevin Willard, that creates a major vacancy at Maryland. But if it's not Kevin Willard at Villanova, who is out there that's left for Villanova at this point?
I'm sure they'll find somebody, but it's been really interesting to see how that process is working out. I love what Tom Izzo. He was so frustrated, and he said it so well. I should have put the sound clip in today, but about, well, how are you going to do this in the portal? He's like, I'm not even thinking of the portal. I don't want to think about the portal. I want this to be about these guys' experience. And, he's right. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what we have done to college athletics is downright shameful. No doubt about it. But you got to play the game. You got to play the game until the game changes or you get left behind. We have time for one more.
Sooner Bump simply says, Porter will not be going to Nova. Okay. Per Sooner Bump, Porter Moser is back for year 5 at the University of Oklahoma. Confirmed.
There you go. All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. We will also check the YouTube chat when we get back and the results in the poll question and some final thoughts. Don't forget OU softball tonight in Wichita against the Shockers, 6 p.m. Before they have Tennessee coming up this weekend. And Sooner Baseball, nice win up at ORU last night. 11-2 was the final. Thunder beat Sacramento, SGA 32, 121-105. Oklahoma City at the 60-win mark already, just burying the Western Conference. Remember all the talk, the Western Conference is so tough. It's what such a Oklahoma City has basically steamrolled the rest of the West. Now, you still have to win a championship, because your reputation in the NBA changes as an organization and as a player to a certain extent by winning championships. All right? Can the Thunder do that? They certainly have a chance. But another great victory in Sacramento last night, tomorrow night at home against Memphis. All right, break time right here. Coming back. One more segment to go. Steelman and Thune, Wednesday edition here on the Ref.
The word is spreading, and the Ref Army is growing. Keep telling your friends and family that there's only one station for true Sooner fans, and that's the Ref Radio Sports Network, and worldwide on the KREF app.
It's your lucky day every day here at Riverwind Casino.
With nearly 3,000 of your favorite games. Plus the best rewards program in the Metro. Use your wild card to win big in our $80,000 Golden Clovers giveaway.
Party like a VIP in a private lounge at the Showplace Theater.
We've got the best of the best.
And we'll see you at Riverwind.
Tired of feeling pressured by salespeople when shopping for auto insurance? At Right Way Insurance, there's no hard sell, just a clear, straightforward approach. We work with multiple insurance companies to give you the best options and rates with no gimmicks. You'll get the right coverage tailored to your needs, all while avoiding hidden fees and confusing policies. So if you're ready for a better experience with auto insurance, visit rightwayinsuranceok.com or call 405-607-6014 for your free quote today. Right Way Insurance, no pressure, just the right insurance for you.
Come shop Eskridge Honda's full inventory at our beautiful new location. Right now, get 0% for a full 72 months on select Honda SUVs in stock. And for every vehicle purchased in March, we'll donate $100 to Toby Keith's OK Kids Corral. That's 0% interest and a great cause. Now conveniently located at 89th and I-35 or online at eskridgehonda.com.
0% for 72 months on 2024 Honda Prologue EX two-wheel drive through AHF ends 4125.
Are you ready to roll into fun? Come on down to Sooner Bowling Center in Norman, where the strikes are spectacular and the smiles never end. Sooner Bowl has something for everyone. Bowling for the entire family, a game center, plus the spare time grill with delicious food. Have a friendly competition, a great family outing, or an unforgettable birthday party. Maybe problem solving is your thing. Try Escape Sooner, located in Sooner Bowl. You're locked in a room for 1 hour where you solve a puzzle and try to escape. It's fun for the entire family. Visit SoonerBowl.com for more info. Are you looking to elevate your golf game in 2025? Westwood Golf Course in Norman can help. Now's the time to get your annual memberships, and they're open 7 days a week. The 50th annual Westwood Invitational is July 4th, 5th, and 6th, so be sure to register early this year. Play after 2 p.m. for just $28 or after 5 p.m. for just $23. You can always book your tee time at westwoodparkgolf.com, and don't forget to visit the Turn Grill inside Westwood, one of the local gyms in Norman. Get ready for an unforgettable summer at the Young Family Athletic Center. Our summer day camps and sports leagues are the perfect way for young athletes to stay active, improve their skills, and have a blast. Whether your child is into basketball, volleyball, or pickleball, we've got open gym, leagues, and camps designed for all skill levels. Registration is now open for most summer activities, but space is limited. Don't miss out. Go to YFAC.com and make this summer one to remember.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Discover the path to sobriety, emotional well-being, and lasting positive change with the Virtue Center, a nonprofit serving Oklahoma since 1972. Specializing in addiction, gambling, and mental health-related services, we offer same-day walk-in screening appointments Monday through Friday and serve ages 12 and up, as well as individual clients or families. Give us a call at 405-321-0022 or visit thevirtuecenter.org to learn more.
We are back here at Cavens. Love being out here with Gary and the crew on Wednesdays. 405-573-3048, the number you need to know if you have any kind of emergency. Water intrusion, smoke damage, biohazard cleanup, find mold in your home. Not good. You need the very best to get it taken care of. They will come to the rescue. And the number you need to know is 405-573-3048 for Cavens Group. They are online at cavensgroup.com. That's C-A-V-I-N-S, cavensgroup.com. On Instagram, Facebook, and X as well. Parker Thune, what are you guys watching streaming-wise? You still on your same show?
We are still, well, let me think. Where are we right now? We're almost through The Mentalist. That's the show that we're watching right now. We're almost through it.
How is The Mentalist?
I really, really like it.
Okay.
Worth the watch.
That's the old CBS show, right?
Yeah, it is. Like 09 to 15, maybe.
Okay. I started work. I always wait for Shay to get off work, and she's working a lot of hours now. So I started watching this documentary on the Celtics that Bill Simmons did on Max. It's so good. Bill Simmons, squeaky voice Bill, but he knows his basketball. But grew up a Celtics fan, but it involves not only just the basketball part, but the history of the city and all that stuff, and it's so well done. I got a little emotional watching this yesterday because it made me – well, I am old, but it made me feel really old because the episode I was on yesterday, they were going on the 70 Celtics after Bill Russell left. Dave Cowens came in. I remember the first NBA series that I really watched, and I can still remember watching NBA basketball as a kid, but really following a series, my initial NBA favorite player was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when he played in Milwaukee. Now later, when Larry Joe Bird came around, it was Bird 1, Kareem 1A. And then once Kareem, the Laker rivalry started and he was going to fight everybody, Kareem and Bird went at each other. Kareem dropped down a few notches. But anyway, that was my guy. I didn't like the Celtics then. And I remember that Game 6 where Kareem hits the shots, and then Boston comes back and wins Milwaukee and wins the title. But I can remember running out in the front yard screaming after Kareem made that hook shot. And then I can remember the, double or triple overtime game, Alvin Adams and Gar Hurd, two former Sooners on that Phoenix team in Boston Garden, played that incredible game that Boston ended up winning. But the Suns, again, they also had John McLeod as their head coach, and he was a previous coach at OU, John McLeod. So I remember rooting for Phoenix, and then I just realized, man, all of these memories that, I'm enjoying watching and hearing the players talk about it and big shots by former Sooners and everything, they're 50 years old or older. I'm like, dude, the clock is ticking. But I can still remember sitting in my living room floor, leaned up against the couch, watching those games. And my poor mom, sweetest mom in the world, and I don't think my dad was a huge, NBA fan. He would watch college, especially if OU was on. And, again, you'd rarely see games because you only had a couple on each week. But my mom, she never got the TV. Mom, we're so sorry. Now, the portable TV back in the bedroom, yes. But a young, up-and-coming regional radio star dominated the television. And I would like to thank my parents for giving me television domination back in the day. I think they knew I'd whine too much if I didn't get control of the TV. So, did you have television domination in the Thune household growing up, Parker?
No, the television wasn't on a whole heck of a lot in our house, unless it was a sporting event of some kind.
What are you, Amish or something? And I out there churning butter on the weekends? What's up?
No, Steely, I spent a lot of time outdoors.
No, really? Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. So, man, it was so tough. These games, you've got every game. It's almost impossible not to be able to find a game these days, right? And I can remember back in my day, my gosh, those games weren't coming full thud, all right? You would get one or two a week. I can remember the first college basketball game of the year. I'd be so fired up. And I can remember there was one I think they started. It was Dwight Anderson was playing in Kentucky. He was a highly recruited freshman. And that was Inberg, Billy Packer, Al McGuire. And just thinking, this is the greatest thing ever. College basketball's back. And then you get maybe the local Big 8 game of the week and a national game. And that was it, pretty much before cable. So you made every view count back in the day because you didn't get as many, we were in the dark ages of broadcasting back then, live games. Okay, Blake, what do we have on the YouTube chat?
Well, Steelman, something you said perked my interest. You were talking about NBA players that are 50 years old now. Some NBA players that are 50 years old. Are you talking about Rasheed Wallace or Steve Nash or Marcus Camby? Because all of those players turned 50 this last year.
Oh, my goodness.
That's crazy.
Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, Keith Van Horn, Zadrinas Ilgauskas, those guys all turning 50 this year. So time moving a little bit faster than we all remember.
Yeah. No doubt. But, I was just thinking, man, because I literally could remember being a kid because I always sat, leaned in front of the couch because I could get closer to the TV. And just remembering all those games, and I'm like, yep, I remember that moment. I remember that moment. I remember what I was doing. I remember when Kareem hit that sky hook, I ran out in the front yard screaming, yeah, and people were like, what the hell's wrong with this kid? But, and then it just hit me, dude, that was over 50 years ago. I mean, not that it should come as a big surprise, but it's just like, hey, the clock is ticking, dude. The clock is ticking. You need to lead a better life, is what I was thinking. 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
3-Star Shark says, are you telling me that you were the first of the entitled brats?
I was kind of an entitled brat. Yeah, I wasn't really a brat, but I grew up. My dad, may he rest in peace. We lost him. It's been 4 years. But greatest dad, giving unconditional love, didn't see color, anything. He was the greatest dad I could have ever had. But I think they kind of figured out I was their creative kid and liked to watch the games, and I would draw pictures of the games and keep the stats. And they just kind of let me do my thing, which was great. So was there some brattiness? Maybe a little bit of brattiness, but I'm glad they did, because a lot of times, we finally got like a portable TV, and, when you get a certain age, you get your own bedroom or whatever. And before cable, you could still watch like the game in your room. But I think until I was about 12 years old, it was out there usually getting TV control. But you have to remember, you only got a couple games a week. It's not like I was dominating the television, every night. A lot of nights it's Happy Days and Welcome Back, Kotter, or whatever show you're watching. But if the sports came on, we were watching it. Pretty much all of it. Okay, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
Oh boy, this is like the this is like the perfect text for the year 2025. This sums up modern society. You'll love this, Steely, I'm sure. Steely, you are right about all your gripes, but your repeated gripes are not entertaining. We don't listen to sports radio to get Sunday school lessons. Entertain us. Don't educate us, please.
Did I have any gripes today? Besides a couple minor ones?
I think you were griping about the YouTube yahoos, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I'll work on it. I need to just give up. The attention-seeking clowns are going to be out there no matter what I say, because their need for attention way outweighs any shame. So thank you. I'll look into that a little bit. Try and be a little bit better. By the way, Blake says A&P Mechanic wants to know the last time you went to Augusta for the Masters. Well, A&P Mechanic, how about 2019, baby? I wasn't there on the weekend, but I was there Wednesday through Friday, I think it was that year. I remember after the rain delay, Tiger was still out there, and a lot of people left. You could seek shelter around the clubhouse area, not the clubhouse area, but like the pro shop or the souvenir shops and places like that. There were places, but a lot of people thought, well, it's pretty late in the day. This is probably, I'm going to go ahead and leave. But Tiger was still out there on the back nine, and it was great Tiger viewing because half of his crowd, his gallery, left the course. So you could actually be up there against the ropes and see Tiger, which is pretty rare. You usually had to stay a couple, 3 holes ahead of Tiger and find a spot and wait to get that kind of view. But that day was, it had just rained. It was overcast. Tiger really heated up, and, of course, he went on to win. So 2019. I don't know if I could walk Augusta now very well. And I'd have to sit in the grandstands a lot.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you could no longer go full thud at Augusta.
Probably not. Definitely not full thud. Probably not even half thud.
Quarter thud?
Maybe. The good news is if you go there, they've got grandstands, and you can go into the, in the gift shop and grab your own folding chair and set it up around the course. And so there are plenty of sitting opportunities. But, for the most part, I would move around quite a bit. Then I'd camp for an hour, and then I'd move to another location. But I don't even know if I could do that very effectively right now. But it's a cool place to go. Getting that lottery, man, it's spectacular if you get a chance to go. Okay. 405-651-3439. We're out of time, aren't we?
We
Parker?
are indeed out of time, Steely.
Okay. I'll try and quit lecturing so much because it's not going to matter anyway with these youngsters today. Their need for attention, once again, supersedes any amount of shit. I don't think they feel any shame at all. Out there just fooling people left and right, there's no shame. None. Okay, I want to thank Gary and the crew here at Cavens. We're going to be back in studio tomorrow, obviously in the Buffalo Wild Wings studio. The gang will be together again. Then Friday out at Riverwind Casino. And, folks, Riverwind Casino has a brand-new app. Get on the App Store. Get in the App Store and get that. It's going to help you win some money and take advantage of some great Riverwind promotions. So get the free Riverwind Casino app. It is available now. And then we'll see you out at Riverwind coming up on Friday, right out there in front of Chips and Ales. Okay. Appreciate you guys. Good stuff today, and we will see you tomorrow. Locked In is coming up next.